Hey guys, Abby here, and today I'm showcasing my CRYO RAKK ATTACK build called Shatter. This build focuses on cryo efficiency and boosted damage against frozen enemies. Using the Rakk Pack class mod and a cryo hex grenade, we'll be tagging lots of enemies, slowing, freezing them, and deleting them. Due to the high cryo efficiency, this build also helps keep you and your pet alive because the enemies are frozen and not attacking you. The gameplay footage you see here is from Cistern of Slaughter on Mayhem 4. At the time of this recording, there's a bug with the Rakk Pack class mod causing my game to crash on Xbox and PC while fighting COV enemies, like the ones found in Slaughter Shaft and Trial of Cunning, so this was the next best thing. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are experiencing crashing with the Rakk Pack class mod while you're fighting COV enemies on Mayhem 4. I've submitted a support ticket to Gearbox and we've been talking back and forth. I've sent them some video evidence and my crash logs so that they can look into it. Hopefully by the time the DLC comes out, we'll get a patch fixing the issue. Alright, with all that being said, let's get into the build. The skill tree is similar to my other Rakk Attack build, so it's up here on the screen if you want to pause. It focuses on the Master and Hunter skill trees. We're using Megavore as our capstone. I didn't spec into head count for this build because I have action skill cooldown rate on my artifact and class mod. If you don't have that, you may have to put a couple points into head count and remove them from second intention or something. I've also noticed that head count is a little buggy where if it procs too many times, you go to hit your racks and sometimes it can reset your cooldown down to 0. And I found that it was more consistent to just rely on my gear for cooldown rather than the critical hits. Alright, so for my pet, I chose the Spider Ant Scorcher for elemental damage and health regen. We're also speccing into Barbaric Yop, so we're going to get a bonus on both of those things, which is super great. The elemental damage also increases your rack damage as well. We'll be using the skill augments Rack Open a Cold One. This converts our racks to cryo from fire, so that's part of the cryo efficiency build, obviously. And Flock and Load is going to give us an additional 2 racks. Now, Flock and Load is really important here because it's going to allow us to have 4 racks per charge, and then each of those are going to split into 2 racks because of our class mod that we're using, so it's going to allow us to tag as many enemies as possible with cryo damage. Alright, next up we have the gear. For our weapons, you're going to want a cryo weapon with high cryo efficiency. In this gameplay, I'm using the Redistributor with 126% cryo efficiency. Some other good options for weapons are the Nighthawken during the day, Lucian's Call, Crossroads, Laser Sploder, or you could even use the Lump rocket launcher. I don't have a cryo one yet, but I really want to try it. For your weapon anointment, you're going to want enemies damaged by Rakk Attack take 100% increased damage for a short time. This anointment adds the extra 100% damage on top of all of your other skills, perks, bonuses, all of that stuff. So it's really, really powerful, especially with the Rakk Pack class mod because you're going to be hitting a ton of enemies with your racks. For my shield, I like the stopgap, but it's not necessary here. You could use the transformer if you're fighting against Malawan. You could really use whatever shield you feel most comfortable with. I like the stopgap because it allows me a little bit of invulnerability to revive my pet if I really need it. The most important part of the shield is that you want the anointment on action skill end deal 50% bonus elemental damage with weapons for 10 seconds. Because cryo is weak against shields, I would recommend finding an elemental anointment on your shield or grenade that does shock or radiation to kind of combat that weakness against the shields. You could also use a shock or radiation weapon in your arsenal to strip shields as well. For the grenade, you want a cryo hex. My Murphtacular has the highest cryo efficiency out of all of my hexes, so I'm using that one. And you also want to look for an elemental anointment here as well. You want it to be a different element than the one that's on your shield. So the elemental anointments aren't mandatory for this build, but they're going to add a ton of damage to your weapons, and they actually will add elemental damage to your racks. Plus, since we're doing mostly cryo damage, the anointments will add other elements rounding out our build. If you want to see more testing around the elemental anointments, you can check out my Rakk Attack build. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Next, for the artifact, the prefix you want is Icebreaker. This is going to give you extra damage to frozen targets and cryo efficiency. Mine is on a Victory Rush artifact, but another good option is an Auto Idol if you want health back on kill. You also want to look for plus 27% cryo efficiency as a perk if you can get it. Cryo damage is also another great perk. I have both of them on here along with action skill cooldown rate, which is great here too. This is pretty much my ideal artifact. but work with what you got. I would say cryo efficiency is the most important thing here, along with action skill cooldown rate. Finally, we have the Rack Pack class mod. Look for +3 into pack tactics to boost our damage and health. With the 2 points that we put into the skill and the 3 from the mod, we're getting a +35% flat damage for flak and +25% health. I also have +2 into Grim Harvest, which gives me +21% gun damage and +70% action skill damage. To play Shatterflak, send your cryo racks out first, follow up with your weapon, and freeze enemies quickly after only damaging them for about 25 to 50% of their health. Focus the frozen enemies to deal even more damage, throw your hex grenade if there's lots of enemies, and repeat. I'll be running this build live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/AbbyHour. If you want to stop by and say hi, I would love to talk to you. I hope you enjoyed this Flak build guide. Let me know if you try it out and subscribe for more Borderlands 3 content. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.